Howdy, and welcome to week 5 of Catholic Sports Association. Tonight we have a lovely soccer game going on, and we will be your announcers. My name is Charlie McCullough.
And I'm Lulu Bohm.
This evening we have an interesting matchup versus the Paisanos and the Angels. And first we're going to run through each team's lineup and let you get to know a little about each player. So I'll introduce the Paisanos and Lulu will introduce the Angels. The Paisanos have 2 team captains. We have Vanessa Trevino and Patrick Ward looking to lead the team. And to fill out the rest of the squad, we have Abel Arazo, Jose Martinez, Valentina Martinez, Luis Arazo, Kilder, Juan David Monterosa Arazo, he put all his names in there, Miguel Arazo, and Manon Bond. So it looks like we got a lot of similar last names, maybe some family members, some brothers, so we'll be looking for some of those connections throughout the night.
Love to see it. And on the Angels squad, they also have 2 captains leading the charge, Ezekiel Salcedo and Mirna Garcia leading that charge. And then we have Juan Vargas, Matthew Dudley, Josh Treadway, Christian Ortiz, Alan Rodriguez, Joaquin Flores, Linda Morales, Marina Esther Olivares.
And to give you all a little bit more background, Lulu and I, we've been to the last couple weeks here. I personally don't play in the soccer league, but Lulu does. So some of these people she's competed against, so she'll be able to give us a little bit more insight. And ultimately, this league's all about having community, building a good team, having fun together on a good old Tuesday night in San Antonio. So Lulu's going to talk a little bit more about our Catholic Sports Association and some of their goals and how they've rebranded in the last couple weeks.
Thank you, Charlie. So we do have Catholic Sports Association. Our new rebranded name is Abound. So we did get that name from one of St. Paul's letters in the Bible. And the reason we chose this name instead of sticking with Catholic Sports Association is we really wanted our community to know that all are welcome, not just those that are into sports. We also have Teleios, which is a small group that Charlie and I both have the pleasure of attending each week. And we're also looking into doing a lot of other activities outside of sports, off the court, off the field, just helping young adults form community and hopefully grow closer to Jesus in the process. So we wanted to switch our name to Abound so that we reflected more of how we felt about our community and the joy that we abound in when we participate in these sports, but then also off the field just in our community.
Yeah. That's super cool. And as someone who's recently moved to San Antonio, it's been just an awesome experience to get to know some members of the community through volleyball was primarily how I first started being involved with young adults here in San Antonio, and then grew more into Teleios that you talked about, that small group formation type thing, and just made a lot of friends going to daily mass, hanging out, playing soccer. So it's definitely a good name change, and it totally reflects what we're all aiming for here in San Antonio. So should be a good matchup tonight, and I'm excited to see it, excited to watch it with you all, and we look forward to the game. Well, and there we go. Lulu, do you want to go ahead and explain why one of our teams happens to be a hodgepodge of colors as opposed to one uniform color?
Yes, Charlie. So unfortunately, some of the players on Angels were unable to be here right at the beginning of the game, so they had to forfeit the game, which is unfortunate, but it's something we take pretty seriously in the league. We just want to make sure we're respectful of everyone, their time, and respectful of Soccer Zone here. We do have 3 games to run every night, so we do got to get them done. But because of that, out of their kindness, one of the teams that played in the first slot, the Tigres, agreed to have some of their players play. They're in the navy blue shirts as opposed to the light blue shirts, but they're just helping out until some more of the players from Angels can join us.
And you said it was out of the kindness of their heart that they offered to play, but honestly, Lulu, if you told me I could play free soccer, I think as the authority on soccer, that's an easy yes.
But no, Charlie, I'm dying to know, what would you say makes you the authority on soccer?
I played a lot of soccer growing up. My dad was big into soccer, and so he showed me all different types of soccer and games and teams and stuff. So I played a lot of soccer growing up, and I didn't play too much after. Oh! Ooh. Angel strikes the back of the net early.
Well, that's Paisanos.
That's Paisanos. Oh no. I'm not the authority on
Paisanos.
commentating. You know, if I was... nothing. Okay, so Paisanos is up 1.
Yes, Paisanos is in the nice berry color.
Okay. And Lulu, as someone who's experienced in this league, do you know if we are following as strict of rules as far as number of women on the field and blue cards and all that kind of stuff in this scrimmage, or is that, do we know the answer to that?
You know, I don't know. I think since both teams have women here, they probably will keep at least one on the field, especially because I'm sure Myrna, who is there on Angels, will be on the field the whole
Myrna's
time.
in the pink shorts and cleats for
Yes.
those viewing at home.
Orange cleats, pink socks, pink shorts. You know, she's just a rainbow of colors, really.
Oh, yes. Not really a rainbow, though, just blue and pink and orange.
But Vanessa, I feel like will probably stay.
Yes, Vanessa's our other lady out there. She's in the yellow cleats, which some would call a rainbow, but it's just one color. And I believe over on the sidelines, we may have had some substitutes for the Angels arrive, but I'm not sure yet. I think we're going to have a couple more players trickle in as we go, so we'll see how it plays out. Lulu, can you give a little bit of context to the people at home as to like what we're doing on Tuesday nights, why we're here, and kind of like what it looks like every Tuesday?
Oh, sure. So every Tuesday we have about 60 people in the league this season. So this is our second season going out on our own, having our own league, which is really cool. It's run for Catholic young adults by Catholic young adults, and it really something we see in other leagues. Sportsmanship is not necessarily the forefront of the game. It's definitely competition. We do love competition, right? You know, a healthy amount of competition leads to striving for excellence usually. And, you know, excellence being a virtue, that is something we can support. But in our league, we really like to make sportsmanship the forefront. So this season of soccer, we actually will be giving out blue cards. I know they've discussed them in previous games, but the blue card is given out for any good sportsmanship, kindness, you know, anything that's just like a nice thing someone does, whether it's getting someone up off the turf, you know, high-fiving the opposing team when they score, just different things. They're able to get a blue card, and the team at the end of the season who has the most blue cards is actually going to be the team that's going to be on our championship trophy. We still have competition, so we still have a playoff bracket, and this is actually our last week leading into playoffs. And we still will have a champion, you know, of the soccer game itself. But those that will be immortalized on that trophy will be the team that showed the most amount of sportsmanship throughout the season.
I see. So we're really doing things for the greater glory of God out here, as well as playing soccer, having fun.
Yeah.
Trivia fact of the night: do you know what "for the greater glory of God" in Latin is?
I don't. Could you tell me?
It's ad. I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce it perfectly because I speak English most of the time, but it's ad maiorem de gloriam. And I was on this, growing up in Texas, there was this ranch that had a big sign that said ad maiorem de gloriam. And I always wondered what it was, and then one of my friends told me one day, it's for the greater glory of God.
For the greater glory of God.
Indeed. So let's get back to this game a little bit. We're 5 minutes in. The Paisanos are up 1-0, and really they've controlled a lot of the possession, I think, it seems like. Oh, right as I say it, the Angels almost made a play on the ball.
I feel like we should rebrand again from Abound to Ad Morienum de Gloriam.
There you go.
The greater glory of God. I'm going to suggest that at our next core team meeting. I think it'll go over really well.
It's possible. It's so CSA, if you didn't hear earlier, recently rebranded to Abound, just to put a little bit more emphasis on relationship with Jesus Christ is the primary reason we're all playing these sports and having fun. But I don't know if that would be the best rebrand, because being in San Antonio, we have two predominant languages that people speak, which is Spanish and English. And Latin, I don't think would land really well for everyone. Oh, good save by the goalie there.
See, but would it cause people to ask questions is really the question.
It's interesting. Oh, we got a corner here for the Paisanos. Oh, they rush it. The goalie gets it out of there.
Oh. Patrick trying to take some people out.
Yeah, Patrick is our buddy in the orange cleats on the Paisanos. He almost, oh, look at that. He was helping his brother get up right there.
See?
That's the kind of play JP2 would have made if he was a soccer player, I think. John Paul II, one of our great popes of recent years. A saint as well. Oh, it looks like this is a new person in for the Paisanos.
Oh, that's Kilder.
This is Kilder. Kilder, that's right. He looks like he's playing in the back. Oh.
He looks like he knows what he's doing, Charlie.
He does. That was some skill. If the goalie hadn't saved that, it would have gone right in. And we got another corner for the Paisanos. Oh, wow. Oh. Was there just a goal? Or did the ref blow it dead? I'm unsure what happened. I think the ref. Oh no! 2 points. 2 points for the Angels.
2 points.
That was worth 2 points because I don't know her name actually. She played in our most recent game. She's in the navy
Stephanie?
blue, right?
Yes.
Stephanie is her name.
Yes.
She scored, and we had another goal just now. This game is moving faster than I can keep up with. Oh, almost another goal there. This is some of the quickest goals of all time.
Is this a soccer game or is this target practice?
They're saving faster than Jesus out there. Or maybe they're not saving, are they? Because they're getting scored on. Either way, it's an offensive attack, quite like Pope Urban II, if you're familiar with him.
The First Crusade, correct?
Yes, he led the First Crusade.
Okay.
That's right. On both fronts, actually.
Wait, are you implying that he led on the Catholic side and the Muslim side?
No.
I just need to know.
No, we don't need to get into the sides on the Crusades, but
Okay.
it was reminiscent of that for me.
Okay. You do know that Our Lady of Victory, the feast day is coming up on October 7th, and Our Lady of Victory is credited with helping the Catholic forces win one of the Crusades, the Battle of Lepanto. It's one of the most famous naval battles in history.
I didn't know that. Are you more familiar with this battle than the other battles in the Crusades because you spent time in the Coast Guard as it was a naval battle?
No, so I'm a big fan of Our Lady of Victory because, well, her name is Our Lady of Victory. Let's start there. But then when I found out it was about...
sorry, we're in the box. Okay. Sorry, you can continue.
Then when I found out that she got her name because of a naval battle, it made me very interested, especially my undergrad degree is in ship design, naval architecture, marine engineering. I was in the Coast Guard. Just love boats, love water, love the whole thing. And I love Mary, our mother. So,
That's good. I'm making a note of something you mentioned earlier for us to talk about during halftime.
Oh,
because I think you
great.
could be an authority on the subject. So
I can't wait.
our viewers will just have to wait another 6 minutes and 30 seconds because I can't distract from the game to go on that side tangent.
Yeah, we've been very focused on the game this whole time.
It was an eventful
So I'm
game.
glad you're making sure we stay there.
There was about 30 seconds of extreme eventfulness in the middle of the game. Okay, something that is throwing me for a loop is, it may be throwing the viewers for a loop as well, is Mario, you may see him at the bottom of the screen, he is in navy blue. He is actually the referee for this game. So if you see him on the field and you think, like that player is not really putting in the steps or touching the ball much, he's actually avoiding it. That's because he's the ref, and it has tripped me up quite a few times as I've been commentating.
Why is he just standing there?
Oh, we got a run out here for the Angels.
All right, let's see if Steph can do it again.
Oh, great cross. Oh!
Wow.
Saved by the goalie. Oh, saved again.
Oh, wow.
I think that first save was by grace and the second save was through faith, if you know what I mean.
I would agree. Wow.
Oh. See, I noticed that the Paisanos seem to be striking the ball strongly. And honestly, outside of that goal that Stephanie scored on a borderline, like,
Free play.
Borderline free play. They seem a little bit lost out there. And if there's one thing that I think could inspire them during half, there's one story of being lost and found that personally I absolutely love. Have you ever heard the story of Lightning McQueen?
I have, Charlie, but I feel like you are the authority. on this.
Oh,
And I
handball. There we go.
would love if you
would've
would
played
tell
it.
me more about that.
Sorry, yes. So Lightning McQueen, just a brief synopsis. It's reminiscent of the story of the prodigal son in Scripture, but it's this famous race car who is very cocky, and he goes to a little town called Radiator Springs, and there he kind of finds himself, realizes how good he actually has it, and starts to see just how people are what's the most important thing at the end of the day. And he ends up basically sacrificing his racing career out of humility, humbles himself, and ultimately in the end of the movie, he's actually exalted for his humility. And so, very reminiscent of the story of the prodigal son. Oh, killed her.
You know, I've never heard it explained like that, Charlie, but it totally makes sense.
So, yeah,
You know, all great stories come from typically another story. You know, usually it's the Bible, Shakespeare.
that makes you wonder, what was the first story?
I mean, I think it was probably Genesis.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh man, that was a good look from Kilder.
The Paisanos have a striking power unlike any team I've watched so far, and I haven't watched many games, so maybe that's surprising. Maybe they're number one in the league. Who knows?
Well, you know, I can tell you they're not number one in the league.
Another shin guard
they
came
lost
loose
to
on
shin
the
guard.
field.
You know, they're not number one in the league, but I think they might be number one in our hearts.
How is the league looking nowadays? You know, do we have a tight contention for the playoffs? What is the state of the league outside of just this game, Lulu? Are you familiar?
I'm a little bit familiar. I think from what I know, Tigres is pretty much locked in playoffs, as has Street Tacos.
Okay.
So they
two
have
teams
the
that you may have seen in some of our previous showings.
Yes, and as we mentioned, those in the Navy, they're actually on Tigres. So, you know, not only are they good on the field in soccer, they're also, you know, have really good, kind hearts, and they're willing to lend a helping hand like Steph and come and play for a team and score goals for them. From what I know, the spots for the third and fourth spot in the playoffs are still up for grabs that I'm aware of. So be interested to see, especially with this forfeit in play, you know, what that looks like.
I see how it shakes up the rest of the field. Okay, we have a play very reminiscent to our first score of the game for the Angels. She passes it off this time.
Well, except this time there's actually players to defend against her.
No, she got to pass the goalie last time, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't just the easiest shot in the world. Okay, so your Paisanos have control of the ball once again. Steph is making him play it back to the goalie. You know, that's a sign of a mature soccer team if they're willing to play it back to the goalie. Because a lot of times when you're growing up, I know this as the authority on soccer as well, is when you're growing up, you just want to go downfield. Mm-hmm. But as you progress and learn the game, you realize that sometimes it's good to take it slow, keep possession of the ball, and play it back through the goalie. And so that's a real expert move by the Paisanos, I think. Lulu, I think we should, we got a minute and 30 left in the half. I think we should start a new tradition here at Abound, especially telecasting. We don't have to tell anyone else that it exists, but we should establish for each game a patron saint of the back of the net. Think of it kind of like an MVP of sorts, just someone that really controls the game, maybe scores a lot of points, maybe plays great defensively and protects the back of the net. Oh my goodness, she heard us describing it and she was going for it.
Honestly, having watched, the games throughout the season, I really would like to nominate Steph as our game patron saint of the back of the
Lulu, we're not even done with the first half yet. We can't establish an MVP for the game just yet.
Okay.
That would be like giving out the champ.
I'm just nominating her.
Oh, a nomination.
It's a nomination.
Of sorts. Okay.
I'd like her to be added to the contention.
I actually like that idea. Oh, a steal. Oh.
I'm gonna write that down so we can come back to that later.
Lulu, as we were talking, it seemed like that ball may have been predestined for the back of the net.
Do you think it was predestined or did it go there freely?
Predestined.
Okay.
We can talk about that later. Mainly because a ball wouldn't have free will because it's an object of sorts,
that's true. That is true.
I think the man who kicked it, who I'm unfamiliar with the name of actually, I think he freely chose for the ball to go to the back of the net.
Yes.
Can I nominate another patron saint of the back of the net for this game as we close out the half? I think Mirna should be up there with the bright colors that she brought. Even though her team forfeited, I think they're really doing great.
So she's the patron saint of the back of the net, maybe, but she's not the patron saint of rainbows, is what you're telling me.
Well, she'd be the patron saint of blue, pink, and orange. Also, the question I was deeply desiring to ask you during that half, but we didn't have the time for it, is you said you majored in ship design in college. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Okay. Have you ever heard, it has a special name, but have you ever heard the story of like, you have a ship and you replace every part in it, like one by one? So you have this old wooden ship and so you replace every board in it and then you replace the mast and the canvas and all this. At what point do you have a new ship, or do you ever have a new ship?
You know,
are you familiar with this thought?
I don't know if I've heard it said quite like that, but as part of my job when I was in the Coast Guard, I actually was a port engineer. So my job was to travel. I was stationed in Cleveland, Ohio, and I traveled all throughout the Great Lakes, and I was naval engineering support for all of these ships. When we would pull the ships out in dry docks, we would very regularly replace massive pieces of steel on the side of the ship. You know, we're talking like a 10 by 20 foot piece of steel,
Okay.
Huge piece of steel. You know, we'd watch them cut it out. They would have to weld it all back in and everything. And we discussed that, especially some of our older ships in the Coast Guard. You know, we had ships that were 50 years old. My first ship that I was on coming out of the Coast Guard Academy, the keel of that ship was laid the same year that my mom was born.
What for those at home and me, could you explain what a keel is?
Yes, the keel. So the keel is going to be the kind of the backbone of the ship. So if you want to think of a ship kind of like a horse, so it has the backbone and then it has all of the different bones that you see coming up on the sides. It's just kind of, the keel is what gets laid down first as the basis and foundation for the entire rest of the ship. It's obviously very important. It's super important in ship stability, the ship design as a whole, you know, whether or not that ship's going to be able to wear different seas, especially in the Coast Guard. You know, you're going to be going out. No one gets lost in the ocean on a nice sunny day. So, you know, you're going to be going out there whenever it's, you know, not the best seas, and you're also going to be, you know, chasing drug runners, different things. So the keel is going to be just that basic foundational piece of the ship.
Interesting. So you would say, does it ever become a new ship? Does it?
You know, so this is
halfway through, 3/4 of the way through.
It's interesting because I think the keel and the hull of the ship itself will get replaced, but a lot of the parts inside of the ship don't. And so something we found very comical. We would watch Down Periscope, which I don't know if you know anything about this movie, but
I don't.
One of the plot points, they're on a.
I do know about the movie Cars, which is different than this movie.
Which is different than Down Periscope. But in Down Periscope, there's I think he's a commander in the Navy. He really wants to be in command of a submarine, and they give him a submarine, but it's the oldest, most worn out submarine, and it's supposed to be like the worst of the worst submarine. But a lot of the equipment they had on the submarine was the equipment that we were using on our ship. So we would watch this in the wardroom, which is where the officers eat on the ship. We would have them around night and watch this and find it very comical that the equipment that we were using
was reminiscent of the worst equipment in a submarine history.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, shifting our focus back to the game, it seems like halftime's almost up. And honestly, Paisanos has been a very dominant team in this league, to my knowledge. And I'm really impressed as to what transpired in that first half with the Angels being able to keep up with them. You know, 3-2. Like, they'd like to be tied, they'd like to be winning, I'd say, but if you told them at the beginning of the game that they'd be 3-2 at half, I think they'd be happy with it.
I would agree, but I would also say a lot of that credit goes to Steph, right? She played with them that first half. She scored a goal. You know, when a girl scores a goal, they get 2 points.
That's true. She is up in patron saint for the back of the net.
Yeah, she is. She was nominated, and she only played the first half of the game. So it's, pretty remarkable that, in the first half she could impress enough to be on the coveted list that we will choose from for such a title. But I'm interested to see now that the Angels have all of their own players. So if you notice, we did add someone of their own player. And so I'm curious to see now we have all of their team here, how they play.
How they're able to do it. Yeah, and honestly, I think Steph may fall off the list from your patron saint in the back of the net if she doesn't show up in the second half, because the goalie is well out of the box. That could be dangerous for the Angels. Someone else caught the ball. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to depend on how many more goals get scored,
That's true. We'll have to see. We'll see how it plays out. We'll have a discussion with it, let's say, when we get about halfway through this half. And so goes, Vanessa with a great steal. Oh!
Wow.
She's trying to put her name in there. In the hat, the theoretical hat for patron saint in the back of the net.
Theoretical hat.
I feel like it doesn't roll off the tongue.
I feel like we should have a real hat that we put these names into.
Maybe that can be next week. Next week, if we get invited to commentate again, we can.
After this performance, I feel like Diego's going to want us to commentate every single week.
I don't know. We'll have to. We're halfway through, Lulu.
Well,
you're jumping to conclusions a lot lately. Oh, Mirna. Oh.
But I think next week I'm actually going to be playing potentially in that middle slot. So if I'm playing in that middle slot, maybe you can commentate and you can make some.
I see. Well, great save by the man coming in behind the goalie. I don't know if that's legal or not, but it happened.
We're getting a nod yes that it's legal.
Nod yes from the actual authority on soccer that it is legal. He played soccer longer than I did when I was a kid. So.
Now, when you say longer, do you mean for more years or for more minutes at a time?
It's a little bit of both. He actually. Diego, I don't know if anyone knows him. He's our league commissioner. He did what they call the marathon of soccer, where he traveled to every soccer field in San Antonio and he scored at least one goal on them. And it took him a whole afternoon, and he did it all on bicycle to get from field to field. And so, at the end of the day, if you want to give the authority on soccer to anyone, you got to give it to our commissioner Diego, because at the end of the day, he does make the rules, and so he is who we consult when we need.
Emiliano Castellanos.
Lulu, I'm seeing something in the Angels that I have to bring up. Do you mind if we talk about it?
Not at all.
I say they didn't have a whole lot of subs the first half, and they're running all over the field. They're having to chase Paisanos.
Whoa,
oh wow!
Was that Kilder?
That was Kilder.
Kilder!
He killed it on that play. It was reminiscent of Fairway Park for me, which is my home field back in Bryan College Station, Texas, where I really honed in my soccer skills with me and a couple buddies. We had quite a few memories out there. And from my experience playing at Fairway Park, this is definitely soccer that we're doing tonight. Everyone's running around, kicking the ball, not using their hands, and that's what we really look for. But what I was going to say earlier is the Angels look absolutely knackered. They are running all over the place. They're gassed. I couldn't keep up with them if I was running out there. And I'm afraid it doesn't look good for them in the second half if they're this tired already. We got 18 minutes to play.
I mean, they're still putting a lot of effort in, which is really, look at that, a hug.
What was his name again? You mentioned Juan.
Juan.
And do you want to tell everyone about what Juan was up to this weekend?
Listen, all right, I gotta level with everybody, okay? So I went to a wedding this weekend. It was amazing.
Congratulations! I didn't know you were married.
Went to a wedding. I went to a wedding, not my wedding. But I just want to give a shout out to Ellie and Jesse. Jesse and Ellie have both played in the soccer league before, but they got married this weekend, and several of our league members and other members of our young adult and Abound community were present, not only for the wedding, but for the reception. And some people showed up to the reception, and then some people like Juan, he showed up to the reception. Let me tell you, this kid was getting it on the dance floor, people.
Oh.
Getting it, just like he got the ball right there.
He did a little knee walk
like
thing. I haven't done that since I was a child.
And let me tell you guys, when I say, I love a wedding, right? I'll tell anybody, Wedding Lulu was the best Lulu. Juan had me beat on that dance floor. And I was very impressed.
Oh, that was...
Wow.
Okay, we have a new nomination for patron saint of the back of the net. His name is Luis Arazo? Yes. And he put somebody in the spin cycle on defense there and put it in the back of the net. Which, I haven't seen much of him this game, so that was really a breakout moment for him. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention. Where were we at? You were talking about
Oh,
wedding.
I was talking about Juan and his dancing
You
ability.
tore it up.
He did. And you know what's crazy to me is like you would think, okay, like he's done it. He has done everything he can do on this dance floor. And then he would just drop it to a whole nother level and just go. And it was so impressive. And mad respect. Mad respect for anyone who can break it down on the dance floor and break it down on the soccer field.
Yeah, he's almost the Swiss Army knife of young adults. You can invite him to your wedding reception. You can bring him out to the soccer field. I bet you could even like ask him for some advice on something, and he would be the gold standard on every level. Actually, I take that back. The Swiss Army knife is like the silver standard on most levels because nothing is exceptional in a Swiss Army knife, but it does the job everywhere. And he's almost a step above the Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, like a Swiss Army knife, but with all perfect things.
Exactly. Almost like the American Army knife because we're a step above the Swiss.
The American Army. You know, we should start that company. I think that could go. I think that could do wonders.
Sneaks it under the left leg through the goalie's hands. You know, that was a classic example of it just being simply too congested for the goalie on defense. Because I think that our buddy in goal over here could have stopped that play if the defender simply had not been blocking his vision. But really, with congestion there, our offensive player was able to sneak it in that bottom corner.
Wow.
Lulu, you know what this reminds me of?
What does it remind you of, Charlie?
So in high school, I played basketball. I was also the authority on basketball. And
Wait, I have a question though. Wait.
I can't answer the question. I gotta finish the story.
Can we say that Juan is the authority on soccer?
I'm not willing to pass my authority on soccer. I don't know how much he played when he was a kid. And we also already have Diego in line above me.
That's
so
true.
I'm already second authority on soccer at best.
Yeah. Well, you know, the last will be first and the first will be last.
And
So I don't
bronze is
really
for
know who
losers.
the authority is, but. Oh yeah, you were telling a story, Charlie.
That could have been a one-touch right there.
I rudely interrupted.
Reminiscent of Jacob Pickering, who was a hero at Fairway Park. He was known for his one-touch until he wasn't. So I was talking about basketball. So in high school basketball, we would do this thing called open gym. And we would just play basketball after practice. They left the gym open for us to play. And it would start off with like some good competitive games. And then once everyone got tired, they got a little sloppy. And I gotta say, we were passing the basketball around very similar to what some of these players who are tired at the scrimmage are passing the ball like out here, you know? Like it's a collection basket, nobody really wants it. Just passing on to the next guy, not really taking ownership. And so, quite frankly, I want to see some heart here in these next 13 minutes.
Yeah, I do too, honestly.
Because even though it was a forfeit, this is what CSA is about. It's about having fun, playing soccer with your homies, and making it happen.
Well, I will say, I feel like, you know, even with the forfeit, I feel like they've taken this game really seriously, both teams. You know, I feel like they're still trying to play hard, trying to score goals and make it fun for everybody involved.
Yeah, that's true. I got to be honest. I was just trying to work in the phrase, passing it around like the collection basket. But I was trying my best, and there wasn't a natural way to do it. So I forced. We almost had a shot on goal there.
I wouldn't have even known that you were trying to do that if you had not said so.
I see. Yeah, it wasn't seamless. I hate to break it to you. Oh, okay. Let's see here. We still haven't seen a lot this half in terms of scoring. I think,
Whoa. Kilder put a lot of power behind that one.
He seems to be a power player to me.
He does. It makes sense he only has one name now.
Yeah.
I was wondering, you know, okay, like if you're gonna only go by one name, I feel like, you know, you gotta be like Cher. You gotta have that power behind you. And, you know, Cher?
Is Cher a singer? I'm
Yes.
unfamiliar. Okay.
You're unfamiliar. Okay.
I'm unfamiliar with Cher.
It's like Sunny and Cher, islands in the stream, you know? Okay.
No, I don't think you're gonna be able to catch me up on Cher during this soccer commentary, unfortunately.
Yeah, but well, what you really need to know about Cher is that she goes by one name and one name only, Charlie, and that is Cher. Similar to Kilder.
Who goes by one name? Kilder.
Yes, who goes by Kilder.
I like it. Okay, Lulu, I'm looking to get better at soccer here, and so, we have Stephanie subbing back in for Mirna Two of our contestants for patron saint of the back of the net for this program.
You know, and I think it really speaks highly because Mirna could have selfishly stayed to try to get more brownie points to see if she could win
And
the title.
she willingly got in the bin with her lads and sat on the bench and took some time out, even though she was in contention, just to let her friend Stephanie play, which I think, to me, speaks points if we're talking about a season where we want blue cards, good sportsmanship.
Right.
Patron saint of the game has to,
Whoa. Okay, I just want to, for those of them been watching for this season, this is the second time that Vanessa has been hit in the face during a game.
Second time. Wow. She seems to be shaking it off like a pro.
She seems okay.
Wow. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
If I took that to the face, I would be on the floor crying.
They really, the first time it was Riker that kicked it into her face.
Yes,
so,
Riker's another one of our league leaders.
Yeah, so, they were just taking a page out of Riker's book there.
I see. It looks like she's going to get some ice, maybe cool off a little bit. We'll keep you updated on Vanessa's condition as the game goes. See, okay, I think we're trying to figure out who has possession of the ball. This is when they're passing it around, let me tell you. Okay.
They're just not quite sure what to do now,
I see your head. Do they have a sub for hers? Or are we...
No, so they don't have a sub, so...
they seem to be playing a man down, that's right.
We do have to have a girl on the field at all times, so if you don't have a girl, then you just have to play one man down. It's unfortunate that that's how it happened.
I see, that does make sense. Well, this is a great opportunity for the Angels to make a comeback of sorts here. Playing with a man or woman up, as you could say. Personally, I think this is where soccer really shines. When you get some open space in the field, you allow people to some space to make plays, make decisions. But really, the Angels are putting the pressure on, keeping the ball on Paisanos' half of the field, and I think Steph needs some help out here.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching Steph play all season though, because she's always aggressive, but not in a overly competitive way. But she's just always staying on the ball, seeing what she can do, seeing how she can help her team.
That's good. That's something you gotta have. You gotta. At the end of the day, we're not professionals out here. We're young adults.
Well, you are as the authority on soccer,
no,
but I'm not.
I can be the authority, but not a professional. And none of us really have skill that is world class, So I think effort is a big part of skill out here. And if you're willing to try hard, there she is. If she would have put that in, it would have been hard to take her name out of the hat for patron saint of the back.
We really need to get a hat. Due to budget cuts, I'm not sure it's possible, but
Are you familiar with the term hat trick in soccer?
I am.
Do you know how many goals are required for it to be a hat trick? 3 goals.
3 goals for a hat trick.
Okay.
They also have hat tricks in lacrosse as well.
I believe hockey as well.
Hey, yeah, that makes sense.
But they don't in basketball, which is another goal-scoring sport.
But Charlie.
I think in these last 8 minutes, even more so now that they put this goal in. I think that the Angels have to throw everything at the Paisanos these last 8 minutes to have a shot here.
Yeah,
they got to score 3. I say they throw everything at them. Dare I say, even the kitchen sink.
I don't think we should be throwing the baby out with the bathwater here, though, Charlie.
That's right. We do have 8 minutes and 20 seconds left to play, so there's no sure way to know how it ends yet. So we'll wait until the end of the game. But ball's trapped in the corner here. Unfortunately, these indoor courts don't have rounded walls, which some indoor soccer complexes do, and it prevents things like that, the ball getting stuck in the corner. But, that would have been a heroic goal. If the goalie would have scored on the other goalie.
That would have been
that might be
might have put him on the
for future broadcasts. That might be an automatic patron saint of the back of the net. If you can score across.
I agree with that.
Let's see here. It's kind of a tough angle to get.
Would you say that this is kind of similar to like martyrdom? Like you just automatically become a saint. You don't have to be canonized.
I'm not really familiar with dying and martyrdom, but I would say that it's the exact same.
You're not familiar though. Okay.
I'm not the authority on martyrdom.
I'll be the authority on martyrdom then.
Dude.
You can be the authority on soccer. I'll be the authority on
Oh,
martyrdom.
goalie is out of the box. Oh. Luckily, they were able to smother that like a stray campfire. Oh! Oh! You know what he's going to be saying tomorrow morning thinking about that goal?
What?
Coffee is the lifeblood that fuels the dreams of champions.
You know? Yeah.
When he's brewing, he's making that brew. I bet he's a pour-over kind of guy. Oh, he's taking some time off, you know.
But it's fall right now, so you think it's like a pumpkin spice latte?
No.
You know, some like nutmeg in there?
Black coffee, all natural. No cream, no sugar, no spice.
Hey, like Pele would do it.
I mean, the other thing I could see him doing is a half calf. If you're familiar with the movie Kicking and Screaming and Will Ferrell, he was a big fan of the half calf, which is a half caffeinated coffee and a half decaffeinated coffee. You can drink it a lot of different ways, but it really just helps moderate how much caffeine that you're consuming.
Oh, true.
You know, the Angels put another point on the board. I can't say it's over with 6 minutes left in a 2-point game and a dominant woman on the field taking shots on goal. It could be tied up in the matter of seconds. It's
been a few seconds, Charlie, and nothing has changed.
Goalie seems to be shaking off a jammed finger, which in soccer typically is an injury you're willing to have, but as the goalie, you use your hands a lot more than everyone else on the field.
It's true. I like his pink gloves and pink cleats.
Come on! Oh, I'm downright rooting for the Angels, I'm not gonna lie. You always gotta root for the underdog.
Yeah, you know. And I think we need some Angels in the outfield over here.
One of the more impressive things,
flying them in.
Angels in the outfield. That's an interesting. There could be a movie about that, I think.
Charlie, there is a movie about this.
Oh yes, it's about the race car that he's a rookie and he's got a big ego, and I won't get into the specifications of the movie, but I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, towards the end, the other cars bring the
we almost saw a stiff arm there. We lost some glasses.
And they flap their wings to bring him into victory.
Interesting. Okay, wait, glasses were retrieved, pieces found on the field. This is a one-score game if the right person scores. It's gonna go down to the wire, Lulu. You know what we haven't seen that's just a classic soccer move this game yet, Lulu?
A bicycle kick?
Oh!
Are you going to say a bicycle kick?
A bicycle kick or a nutmeg, which some people might think is a spice, but actually it's when you kick the ball between an opposing player's legs.
Oh.
It's called a nutmeg.
It's called a nutmeg, okay.
Sometimes people call it getting megged for short,
oh.
Which is something that people might be unfamiliar with if they didn't have the experience growing up with soccer that I did.
You know, prior to commentating this game, I thought that there would be a plethora of bicycle kicks for us to enjoy. But
I know.
Here we are.
The only bicycle kicks I know of is when I get a flat tire and I get angry and I just got to take my wrath out on something, you know?
We did.
So
last game we had a header scored.
A header was scored last game.
Yeah, last week. Wow. Last week there was a header. And actually it was a girl named Dana was the one that scored it.
A 2-point
She got
header.
2 points for scoring a header.
We should make the header worth more points.
You know,
I need to talk to our league commissioner about that.
There should be a 3 times multiplier for the header. Therefore, if you have a
so
female...
it could be a 6-point... That would be a huge point swing in any game.
And can I just say that
Myrna with a great save.
Against...
She's back in the game. She is looking to whatchamacallit. She's looking to close the door on being the patron saint of the back of the net this game.
She is. She's putting in the work, you know?
Took me a couple seconds to get that phrase out, but...
In the last 3 minutes, do you have any early picks on who you think might be deserving? So, so far we had Steph, Myrna, and Luis. Did you want to add any other nominations?
I think, I don't think I have any other nominations to add, but...
I kind of would like to nominate Diego, our camera guy.
Diego, the camera guy.
Because he has made sure that the camera has always gotten the back of the net when appropriate.
That's an interesting proposal here. I'm gonna say it, Lulu. I think that if we created a fake award and then we gave it to the guy running the league and the man who asked us to commentate this game, I think some people would throw up their hands and complain.
I personally would like to open his cause for canonization.
That is a great way to nominate a patron saint for the back of the net. Have you ever played like a sports game and you just say like next point wins and that's how you finish the game?
Yes.
I kind of feel like that's how I want to do patron saint at the back of the net. Like if somebody scores in this next 2 minutes, they are the patron saint at the back of the net.
So they would be a martyr of sorts. Automatic.
Yeah.
Automatic canonization.
I mean, if someone scores a game-winning or a game-tying goal, that is automatic behavior, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Oh, Vanessa's back in the game.
Yeah.
We said we would update you on her face. We can update you on her soccer skills, and they
still
are
as beautiful as ever.
Oh, good news. I couldn't really tell from here, but Vanessa, we're glad you shook it off, and you're doing great. Vanessa, I didn't mean my last comment to say that like you weren't beautiful. It's just that you're too far away, and I've never really seen you up close. So I think I may have dug my own grave with that one.
Okay. So. Maybe we should nominate you as the martyr.
We should call it like patron handball of the game. Oh my! Another face shot that is Zeke. Zeke shook it off like a champ. Having glasses on the face and taking a face ball is,
it's like a whole
dare I say,
level,
one of the more uncomfortable things in the game of soccer. You
I
shook
feel
it
like
off
it
like
was
a
just
champ,
a good
though.
payback for Vanessa, you know?
And can I say Zeke looks as beautiful as ever. All right, 30 seconds left. And they kicked the ball to the other team. That was...
It's an interesting tactic, Cotton. Let's see if it plays off.
Interesting strategy for him, Cotton. Let's see if it pays out. Okay, 20 seconds left. Okay, I don't know. The Angels are still putting up a fight. 15 seconds left.
I just don't know if I like the cut of that man's jib.
The cut of what?
Of his jib.
I'm very confused about this phrase that you're saying.
It's a sail on a sailboat.
Okay, another boating reference.
Yes.
You are the authority on boating.
I am.
And that is game.
Wow. You know,
a good win for the Paisanos, a tough loss for the Angels, but all in all, it was really for nothing because it started off with a forfeit.
Yeah, and something we like to say, at least on the volleyball court, is ball don't lie. They forfeited, but then ball also didn't lie, right? Even with some subs from the best team in the league, they still were defeated by Paisanos.
It'll be an interesting matchup to see how the rest of the league plays out, and I'd like to just sign off this game reminding everyone what we're all about. We have not determined a patron saint in the back of the net just yet. Thank you, Lulu, for pointing that out to me. So I would like to make my cause for Luis.
Okay.
I think he had one of the cooler plays of the game. He put somebody in the spin cycle, as they say, put it in the back of the net, and he played a man down for the good majority of the second half. And that was a great feat from Paisanos. And so that's my nomination. Would you like to nominate anyone else before we finally decide?
I kind of want to nominate Mirna just because I feel like it's tough whenever you don't have teammates show up and you have to forfeit. And she could have had a really bad attitude coming to the game, but she still came in. She played hard, and she just did a really great job overall. So I just want to, and she did voluntarily let Steph come back on the field.
She did. It was very humble of her.
It was very humble.
I think in a spirit of sportsmanship, and Luis even told me before the game started, he goes, hey, I don't want to be patron saint of the back of the net. I think we should give it to Mirna, just because she came out pink shorts, pink socks, orange cleats, a rainbow of sorts. And she is our patron saint of the back of the net this game. So Mirna, and what is her last name? Mirna Garcia, also a team captain. Very good of her to come out here and play.
And we might talk to the league commissioner. Maybe we can get Mirna a blue card, a bonus blue card for having been the patron saint of the back of the net.
He is nodding his head. Yes, Mirna, your team will receive another blue card this season. Thanks to everyone for watching tonight. We'll love to see you again next week, and feel free to watch the other previous 4 weeks on YouTube. The commentation might not be the same, but it will be just as good. Trust me.
It will be passable. Right, I'm Lulu.
I'm Charlie.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Good night, San Antonio.
Good night, San Antonio.